hey. What is happening? What's going on, everybody? It's a Tuesday night here in New York, and we are just chilling like villains already. Going a little bit early tonight, though. A little early. It is... What time is it right now? Oh, it's 6:44. It's 6:44, and I actually set the timer for 6:45. I said, you know what? It's 6:42. We're going live. That was 2.5 minutes ago. So I wanted to go live a little bit earlier than usual, just because I'm getting off a little bit earlier than usual, because the band is getting together. And tonight it's a very important band meeting, because we're loading a lot of new sound equipment back into the room. We are going to pick a broadcast date. We want to actually do a live stream performance. We haven't done that in a while. And when we pick that, that'll give us a timeline for production. And what I mean by that is we have to assess the state of the room, the decor, the lighting, the camera angles, whether or not we can get better cameras in there. I also have to give the broadcast computer that we have in there right now to Derek, my bassist, he's a techie and IT guy as well too, and he needs to just do a little bit of cleaning up on that thing, and it takes like 10 minutes to start up. We don't use this computer. I don't know why it's taking so long, so it's just going to get leaned out somehow. And then I'm going to start building up some nice OBS scenes in there, and we're going to figure out a way to bring in producers like Mike to come in and actually work the board, but not be in the room. So that'll be nice. It's a big reconstruction and big re-envisioning of the whole space there, because not only is it going to be important for us as a band to do live stream performances whenever, to keep our chops up and have some fun, because venues around here are few and far between, these days at least. It's also really important for what we have planned for, quite frankly, going forward, at least all the quite frankly spin-off shows, including the new concepts that we're developing for Saturday nights. I'd love to get a little bit more of a live musical aspect to that. And if we ever have bands and artists come in, I want to be able to set them up in a place that would be decent. I've let you in on those thoughts from time to time, but this is a little bit more. It's getting more ironed out tonight in detail. So, and then there's more. We want to set recording schedules. There's new material to be recorded and all that, and which means I also have to start making a little bit more time over here in the studio just to work out as a drummer, so I can feel like a drummer again. If you have ever played an instrument seriously for any amount of time, and then life just pulls you away from it, there is a disconnect inside of you that makes you feel like, oh, what's the point? I wouldn't even know how to hold the sticks if I had them in my hands right now. But it just takes a little bit of time. You're back on the bike, and then you just gotta, that's it, whip out your metronome, man, and get to work. Tonight I'm in a little bit more of an improv mood. Had a good time last night. I want to talk about that in just a second. But tonight we're going to just mix through some random articles, some headlines, and open up the lines. I have the general line that's going to be open tonight. You can write this down right now. It's 200-0269. That's 914-200-0269. That is for whatever. It's open lines. Come with anything you want to say or any kind of questions you want to ask, but make sure that, this is going to be awesome. And you can put it into a nice little nutshell. It's an elevator pitch, okay? Nice little elevator pitch. That's what open lines are all about, because remember, you're talking to a lot of people. So, be conscious of that. Then, of course, I'm going to reopen the special inside information hotline. I like doing this every couple of weeks, every few weeks. But we'll see. We'll see what we get around to. These improv nights, we can suck up a lot of time faster than you think. All right, so last night I had a good time with our guest. It's nice to have Elle on. And but on the Pilled.net technical level thing, I'm writing down a lot of things here. You know, we all had feedback for Pilled after the fact last night. If one thing that we learned that is getting worked on right now, I don't. It's going to be done soon. But if you are about 10 or 20 minutes behind in the stream, like let's say you go and you pause the stream to go to the bathroom or something like that, on Pilled, one of the first innovations they did in a string of innovations was giving you buffer time. So it buffers wherever you pause, so you can press play when you come back and it picks up right where you are. Only thing is that needs to be kind of capstoned and completed is that when the stream ends, you need to be able to continue to watch it till its entirety and, you know, just catch up even though the stream is over. That is not the case yet. So if you pause it for 5 or 10 minutes and you go to the bathroom, you come back and it's not continuing on, then when the stream ends at 9 o'clock, somewhere around there, if you still have 7 minutes to catch up on, you're cut off until you're cut. It cuts you off until the rerun plays, which is not that big of a deal. But if you use that buffer to your personal advantage, then it is. Because the other thing that we noticed is that the rerun does not process nearly as fast as we hoped it would. And it was available on Pilled this morning when I woke up, but not immediately afterwards. So until this changes, I will be uploading the full episode that we do every night to Rumble and BitChute every night as soon as I get home to upload the podcast. Okay, so those are two major things that really popped up there. But I will say this: I received a lot of positive feedback, especially from our older audience members, which is most promising because if they can figure it out, I mean, am I right? Let's be honest with each other. That's a good sign. Okay, even Roku users last night were very happy because, as you know, if you have a Roku device, that can just be used to cast what you're watching on your phone or any other mobile device. You can cast that through Roku onto any television, even if it's an older television that isn't considered a smart TV. I got an email from one of our lovely listeners, Jane. Jane said this: "Dear Frank, Jane here, just wanted you to know I followed your instructions and with the help of my grandson was successful in getting the show yesterday on my TV. I held my breath at intermission and voila, everything went smooth as silk. Been so stressed out about not being able to view it on my television, but it was easier than I imagined. So grateful. Your show means the world to me." Well, I was just over the moon for Jane because I've been there helping so many people allay their fears. Because, listen, let's just be honest about this. It's a trial period for a lot of reasons. We're trying something new, and the reason why we're trying it is because there is a real good opportunity for independence and security, brand security, going into uncharted political waters, as you're going to hear tonight a little bit more of the company men and women who want to talk about censorship and who want to talk about what is appropriate and what isn't, and what goon squads should be going out there if hate speech is uttered anywhere on the face of the earth. It's really incredible. But like I said when I made this announcement about the second halves only being on Pilled and quite frankly .tv, there was no reason not to try. Pilled is the home of the network anyway, as it's been for a couple of years. It's embedded right in the center of quite frankly .tv. So even if this arrangement doesn't even last more than a couple of months, it's still showing people, I'm hoping, how easy it is to watch everything from the nightly show to all the bonus programming afterwards, including the weekend blocks that I personally curate and much more to come, because I still want to have live interactive after-hour shows where we have callers and all that. So it's one of those things. And one last thing on this, because I know last night was very new in that respect. If you care about independent media, then please send technical feedback and any kind of problems you have to support@pilled.net. Because like I said just a couple seconds ago. No matter what happens with how I conduct the 7 o'clock show, A, it's never going to be behind a paywall, but B, the network is still powered by Pilled. So we have a lot invested in this becoming a better, more intelligent streaming platform, Foxhole, Pilled. So it's very rare, support@pilled.net, that you can go and you can email a platform and actually talk to the owners and the programmers and get a response quickly. Not only a response, but you can actually help improve the platform quickly. So I know it's tempting just to complain with strangers in a chat room from time to time about one thing or another, but if you actually put those thoughts into an email and address it to support@pilled.net, it's incredible what our little tribe over here can do to quickly perfect a nice little island that we can always call home in the darkest of times, as long as the internet is up. As long as people have access to the internet, we'll always have a home if we can just all team up on that. So thank you on that. All right. Let's see here. I have a couple of things I want to do on the grab bag end of things, which will actually just be the show. So let's just start the show off. Just remember, tomorrow is Robin McCutcheon. We're going to be talking about some fun things there. On Thursday night, we got George Alexopoulos in studio and Razor Fist calling in for the first time on Zoom. That'll be wonderful. Big culture shock show. I can't wait to do that one. Matt will be here on Friday. I have a couple of key bookings, though, I want to tell you about. We'll do that on the other side because there's something else I want to show you. Oh, man, we've been doing a lot of work. I've been very excited, and I hope you are, too. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I heard Yoda talking about midichlorians. I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
It's heroin.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Buonasera, Signorina, buonasera.
Is.
It is time to say goodnight to Napoli.
A couple of things I saw in the chat room just because I like bouncing in there whenever I can. Number one, there's no reason to unsubscribe anywhere because after hours programming that we do, Saturday night specials, anything that's special, porch streams, all that stuff, I'm going to be using the full battery of channels that we have. We're just doing this second half arrangement for the 7 o'clock show, but I'm still going to be uploading, as you all have seen today, on Rumble and BitChute. Those are going to be very important repositories for the full show, so that these are entire shows there. Another thing too is if you ever have trouble figuring out something like Pilled.net, don't give up, because the fallback, the very simple fallback, is quite frankly .tv and press play. That's the fallback. It is so incredibly simple, and that's the only reason why I even wanted to endeavor to give this a shot. Anyway, take a look at this. Speaking of quite frankly .tv, I have a new little fun thing to show you, don't I ever? My, oh my. All right, so I'm bringing you up on the screen. Up on the screen you are with me. Let me get out of there. So here's quitefrankly.tv. There's the show right now. You can see all the wonderful things going on here. But anyway, if you go to the merch, we have new merch that I'm unveiling to you tonight. Thank you, Rise Attire. It is a wonderful array. We've got the Founding Frankly framed up for you on a wonderful hoodie and a tee. The Quite Nationals shirt has been revamped. It is looking more and more like an actual beer league softball tee. In fact, anybody out there that's looking for a jersey for their beer league softball team next season, go ahead, buy 12 of these. Put your own numbers on there and rep the show. Quite Nationals. That's right. We took and there's even a little bit of a blurb there, if you want to see it. You click on those Quite Nationals and here underneath, a little bit from me. A tongue-in-cheek way of mocking the hallucinations of the average leftist's greatest fear and Frank's love of classic baseball tees. Buy 12 and clothe your entire beer league softball team. So you go and check that out. But that's not the least of it. I'm so excited about everything else. There is one thing here that you guys have never seen before, an old design that we're finally putting to use. The Quite Nationals tee is great, but the Quite Frankly, the Shea Frankly, it's the Fuck Socialism t-shirt. There you have it. It's a Shea Frankly DTG unisex cotton tee. I love this so much. What is the other? Here we go. A never-before-seen design that replaces the Che Guevara's murderous mug with Frank's mirthful grin. Not to be worn in polite company, of course. Fuck socialism. So you can go and check that out whenever you'd like. And that's not all, because this is all just the foundational stuff. We're going to be on top of a lot of the special edition stuff, things that are ideas that are spawned directly from the show. But this is something that we have resurrected for modern audiences, and that is the UN Peace Through Terror. We have the shirt and the hoodie. As you all know, people always ask when I wear the shirt, but it is a classic. It's a flea market classic, as I say. We did this, recreated it in a tedious fashion. The shirt was nearly extinct before we brought it back to life, a flea market relic from the early 1990s that tells the truth about the supranational organization of tyrants we know as the United Nations. It has now been given new life here on Quite Frankly .tv, the merch. Thank you, Rise Attire. They do wonderful work, and they have been out there in the audience for a long time, and I'm glad that we finally got to do some work. And now we have high-quality tees, 5 to 10 times the quality of Teespring, no doubt. We've got a new coffee. Sometime around February or March, we're going to have brand new, amazing hand-spun clay mugs that we're going to be able to enjoy for years to come. That'll be part of the coffee shop selections over there. I mean, I'm really feeling good. Feeling like we're doing major makeovers, and a lot of good stuff going on. Anyway, it was worth the wait. All right, here's a couple other things I want to do. There is a speaking of art and speaking of new things and speaking of rebranding, I wanted to give a little shout out. We have a listener out there. Her name is Rebecca, and she has a daughter, a 14-year-old daughter named Millie, and she does fan art. And a little bit before Halloween, she sent this to me, Rebecca did, said, Millie made this for you. She would be honored if you would like to use it on your show. She has a YouTube channel where she features all of her art and some of her other creations. It can be found under the name Jackson Arson, Arson, Jackson Arson. And this is what she made me. I want to show everybody. Look, it's a jester. Very Halloween-y with a jack-o'-lanterns in the back. Thank you so much for that, Millie. I asked Rebecca, is this supposed to be me? What a very anime reimagining of me. I'm a little shorter, but that's okay. I'm very bright, and I love purple. I like that purple and amber color, that combination, don't you? So thank you so much, Millie, and keep up with your art and do well on your YouTube channel. Keep your opinions guarded, whatever you do, and you'll gain subscribers. Don't be yourself, whatever. No, horrible advice, Frank. Don't say that to Millie. Anywho, Anyway, there's that. Oh, and there's one other thing. I've been waiting to do this too. Putting a little bit of a highlight on the youth in the audience. So there's Millie making her her art, and I got this in the mail a couple of weeks ago as well. Here we go. This is from... Where is it? What's the name? This is from the Paynes in Indiana. The Payne family. And I got 2 letters here written in cursive. I want to read it to you. Here we go. What's up, Frank? I heard on the October 5th, 2023 show, you said something on the web that said Gen Z cannot write in cursive, but I can. So joke's on you, Internet. By the way, I am Maximus Payne. What an awesome name. My parents just named me monosyllabic Frank. It's like, oh, is that short for Francis or Francesco? Or is it like, nope, 1 syllable, Frank. He's Maximus Payne, this kid. The son of Sir Nasty Nate. I love your show. All in cursive. Hi, Frank. My mom and dad love your show. My dad is Sir Nasty Nate. There you go. Oh, wait a second. Age 8? What is it? With his 2 kids? Ezekiel. From Ezekiel. Maximus and Ezekiel? It's just plain old Frank and Anthony over here. The hell? We were gypped. From Ezekiel Payne. 8 years old. Look how he's writing. So, there is hope in the future. And I just want to put that out there in case you think that we are way too doom and gloom there. So I got ahead a little bit of the tip of the cap. A tip of the cap. That's what I got for you tonight. All right. What else? What else as we move through this pile of stuff? Well, the first thing I have here is from Nikki Haley. I want to play her, and then I want to play the Beaver, and then I want to play a little bit more about some J6 updates, because you want to talk about the future that is over the horizon and the things that I'm contemplating here. As you know, we just try to fortify what we have and still reach out and try to bring new viewers in. Here's the first one up. This is about January 6th. This was reported on by, was it Bad Kitty, censored by X? What is it? It's Uncover DC. And is it Wendy? Let me make sure. It is Wendy. It's from yesterday. So our buddy Wendy Mahoney at Uncover DC, Tracy's website, she's been doing incredible work. Wendy is very tenacious, and she finds things all the time. Listen to this. Infant son of a January 6th defendant placed on Quiet Skies suspected terrorist watch list. An infant son. This was passed around a little bit recently. Pure revenge stuff here. An 8-week-old infant was placed on a secretive terrorist watch list known as Quiet Skies last week, according to A.J. Fisher. The only suspected but not so reasonable explanation for the designation that Fisher is a January 6th defendant and the infant's father. Most alarmingly, it was not even Fisher who booked the ticket for his child. Fisher's fiancée booked the ticket for herself and the infant, but neither was anywhere close to D.C. on January 6, 2021. So now anytime Fisher's fiancée or their infant son travels, their boarding passes are stamped SSSS to indicate that they are suspected domestic terrorists and listed in the Quiet Skies database because of their association with Fisher, the father, the husband. You know, in places like North Korea, they hand down generational sentences for real or perceived crimes. Generational sentences. This is the United States. It's been like this for a long time. Only we really didn't feel it too much because, of course, we weren't young, impressionable Muslim men that were being used to justify the FBI's counterterrorism budgets for 20 years. Now it's really being turned inward on us. So it's credible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's I mean, you can say that, and some people have come out and said that there is no, it doesn't indicate that SS, secondary security screening selection, it doesn't indicate that you are bona fide a suspected domestic terrorist. But when we start seeing special designations, no matter how benign or vague it could be, designations for people, new categorizations for people, it's very dangerous stuff. And we are in the deep end of the pool now. Let's move on to Snow Miser Chin. That is Nikki Haley. And take a listen to this. She wants to let you know how social media should be run in the future for national security purposes.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. How
do you do that, Nikki? What clause in the Constitution, namely an executive power, gives you the power to coerce private businesses into opening the books on their users? Where is this? Where is the federal power? Where's the executive power in particular? I'd love to hear Snow Miser Chin talk about this. But of course, she is just a rabble-rousing battle bot that doesn't stop flapping her gums.
The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that,
it's a national security threat, because the internet is just around this new internet thing. We've been using the internet privately for close to 40 years now. Everybody has had monikers and screen names in most households in the United States since the 1990s, the late 90s. By the end of the 90s, a vast majority of the country had personal computers and were at least nominally connected to the internet. Even if it was just dial-up. You guys remember when Juno came out? That was my first email account. It was Juno. And you wrote your email, and you dialed up through the modem, and at the end of every dial-up completing its call, the one piece of email was sent out. Then, of course, the big update was that you can send batches of email in one call, and then there was constant connectivity. Some people already had that, but for me, that was the starting point. Anyway, it's a national security issue now all of a sudden that people are using the internet without verifying who exactly they are. All of a sudden, it is a national security issue.
All of a sudden, people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility. Yeah, because then all that will be left are the CIA bots, the Mossad bots, the Bill Gates bots. We need to get rid of the Russian and the Iranian bots and the Chinese bots. The only way we can have that is if everybody puts their dick on the table and has it stamped by Nikki Haley. When people know their name is next to what they say, accountability, and they know their pastor and their family members going to see it, it's going to help our kids and it's going to help our country. There you go. If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear. These freaks, man. This is a Republican. Okay? This is a Republican. That's what they call themselves, and that's the costume that they put on. They're the alternative to the crazies on the left. Oh, man. And then Kathy Hochul said, "Hold my beaver teeth. I can do one better." Listen to this. This is from New York. She says social media analyst unit or analysis unit that I guess she has created in the state of New York. They will contact people who commit hate speech online.
Also, we're very focused on the data we're collecting from surveillance efforts, what's being said on social media platforms. And we have launched an effort to be able to
shave down my teeth,
counter some of the negativity and reach out to people when we see hate speech being spoken about on online platforms. Our social media analysis unit has ramped up its monitoring of sites to catch incitement to violence, direct threats to others. And all of this is in response to our desire, our strong commitment to ensure that not only do New Yorkers be safe, but they also feel safe.
Be safe and feel safe. So don't worry. I will not stop until everybody feels safe. I'm not going to stop. She's not going to stop anybody. What a fucking beaver witch bitch. I'm sorry, kids. Go away. Go into the other room. Uncle Frank's about to lose it. I'm feeling it's just the electricity's running through my veins. I can feel it. I hate it. I hate these people. I don't need to be verified. I don't need to be I say the things I say on the internet because it's not feasible for me to yell across the street at Kathy Hochul in Albany to let her know how much I loathe her. I loathe her. And I'm not just talking about superficial things. I focus in on superficial things when I hate a person, the inside of them. Okay? I see past a lot of things if you're a good person. But this is a vampire. This is Nosferatu with a cheap wig. That's exactly what she is. You go look at a picture of Hold on. Nosferatu. Let's do it. Nosferatu. Give it to me. Okay. All right. Now let's just think about this for a second here, because I think it's something we should consider. Is Kathy Hochul Nosferatu with a wig? So here's Kathy Hochul. Here's Nosferatu. Imagine Kathy Hochul's hair. Look, I know you see it. I know you see it. I know you see it. It's the facial structure. I know you see it. It's the eyebrows. Nosferatu's eyebrows are a little bit thicker, but he's a little bit older. It was the fashion at the time. It's the teeth. His is a little bit pointed. Maybe she had hers capped. Okay. All right. Am I being juvenile? I don't think so. I'm doing a little bit of digging. Everybody does digging these days. But they have their social media analysts that are going to make sure that every New Yorker feels safe. And we're going to reach out and talk to people who have made threats. I guess there's going to be no more Democrats on the internet. Give it a couple of months, and she's going to have thrown away all of her actual voters into prisons and gulags. Seriously, you want to talk about bad behavior?
Of what their religious beliefs are. We expect to see people celebrating their lives, walking about freely. And that is no longer the case because people are living in fear. They have a right to do whatever they want here in the state of New York.
Oh, really? Whatever they want. They have the right to do whatever they want. Rob stores with impunity. Whatever they want. They can kill their children with the help of a doctor on the due date. Whatever they want. They can now they can even grow 3 marijuana plants in their backyard while they do all those things. They can sell the merchandise that they stole from Burlington Coat Factory in a tag sale while in the backyard they're growing their weed plants, and it's just great. This is the way New York is always supposed to be. Always supposed to be. I don't know what to say. Do you? Do you know what the end game is? Anyway, I have so much that we can go to tonight. And but around 7:30 we're going to pop off, and we're going to go over to our site and pill.net. We got all those links out there. Like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything about the jump off at Intermission confuses you at all, sign up processes, all that stuff, we can figure that out on the side. In the meantime, just to continue watching, quitefrankly.tv and press play. That's really it. It's really simple stuff. But we're going to take some calls now. It's 914 200-0269. We haven't taken calls since that Thursday show that we did. Really wonderful show. Really wonderful show. I recommend you go back and listen to that if you haven't given it a listen. With Monica Kelsey from Safe Haven Baby Boxes. It was a really incredible, uplifting show. And again, one of those amazing ones. One of those, I have to say, it's going to be top 10. That was great. That's what we have. All right, let's take some calls. 732, you're on the air. Who's this? You're on the Tuesday show.
Hey, Frank, it's Chris in the Berkshires.
What's going on, Chris? How you been?
Good, man. I just wanted to just super sad about Albert, you know.
I know.
Kind of a total bummer, you know. Albert was a I mean, I don't know Albert personally, but Albert was always a solid member in the chat over there on Twitch, and him and I would always kind of joke around and argue about who's going to get through first on the calls. And you know, I heard you say it, and I was like, it can't be flat Albert. No, that's not Albert Frederick. You know, that's crazy. And you know, more than anything, it just, you know, I've had a bunch of people in my life, you know, go through that and take their lives, and it's always just good to. So always just make sure and check in on people that you love, you know, like they can show you that they're fine in every way and hide it on the outside really well. And there's plenty of people that are hurting on the inside. So, you know, it takes 2 seconds to just say, hey man, hope you're okay. And let me know if you need anything. So,
I mean,
and I'm sure he had plenty of people in his life that were like that, but you know, it was really, really tough to hear that. And, you know, I know a lot of the people in the Twitch chat were super hurt because, you know, anytime I would turn on the Twitch chat when I first found your show, you know, I first got kicked off of Periscope and you know, Periscope got canceled or whatever, and I moved to Twitch. There was this dude that would every time, you know, he even saw my name, he'd be like, hey man, how you doing? What's going on? It's good to see you. Welcome to the chat, you know. So he was definitely a staple, and he was a really, you know, awesome guy, and it's just sad to see. And you don't want to move on, but you know, unfortunately that's part of life. And just try not to forget, you know, the good people and just treat people the way that he treated people, you know. And anybody that wasn't lucky enough to, you know, get to shoot the shit with him a little bit, even if it was just in a chat, just know that this was a great guy, and you know, an incredibly intelligent mind who thought.
Very well said. Very well said, Chris. And you know, I knew that's the other reason. But I knew that we just had to do open lines tonight and see what came through, because there's probably a lot of people who have still something to say about that. It's one of those show-wide impacts that are made there. I never knew Albert personally, but I definitely spent at least a couple of hours on the phone with him over the years, you know, and right. I knew that there was going to be this coming through. So I'm glad you said that. I'm sure that there's going to be people who express similar thoughts. Is that all you had to say? Because if it is, that's totally fine too.
Yeah, that's really all I want to say. And as always, you know, keep up the great work. The show gets better and better. You know, it's tough with the change and everything, but at the same time, I understand what you're doing, and you're trying to grow the program. So it's one thing to lose your chat friends, you know, halfway through it, but at the same time, I understand you're trying to expand the program. And expand the brand essentially, but. You know, you'll make new friends and you'll enter new chats. I know that.
Well, Chris, you know, here's the thing, and thank you so much for the call. This in and of itself is not a way to expand the brand. I was thinking about fortification, and all the other outside efforts is how you really expand it. For example, I mean, these shows are still going to be uploaded in full in multiple places. I still need to figure out an intern system. See, it's hard for me to say I need an intern to come and help me with all of the highlights that I need done, because this is not the job of an intern. This is a full-time job. There are some shows out there that do an episode a week, 2 episodes a week, maybe even 3. Lauren on the show last night, she just said that she had a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Saturday show. I mean, sometimes I go Monday through Saturday, and then on Sunday I still do an unlisted stream for all of my wonderful subscribers, my monthly subscribers that actually keep this show going and growing. So it's really just a matter. It's a thought of whether or not we can fortify a little bit and then communicate and draw in the outside world through other means that we need to get figured out one way or another. It's just that it's not the job of an intern. We've had a lot of people come up to us over the years say, I would love to help you with highlights. And I said, thank you so much. And then they realize that, okay, well, they just grabbed 3 clips from Monday night's show, and now Tuesday night's show is done. And there's 2 hours of stuff there, too. And then the next day, you have another 2 hours to cut through. It is thankless. Well, it's not thankless, but it is, I don't know. It's like fighting the tides. I use that phrase a lot, but it's overwhelming. So I need to figure out a way to fund that kind of an operation. And I always encourage people to become a monthly sponsor. It's for as little as $3 a month on QuiteFrankly.tv through the Sponsor Us tab. There is still Patreon and Subscribestar. Lauren said that she's going to get me all the open inventory on the specialty perks, so everybody knows, hey, there's still open spots for pen pals and everything else, because that's really the key here. We're doing a lot with just under 1% of the audience being monthly sponsors. If we had 2-3% of the audience as monthly sponsors, I wouldn't really need to cut any deals to see if we can expand certain parts of the operation. So that's really it. It's always concentrating on how to make this a better experience for you guys. If I was concerned about just being able to pay my bills and going live at night and just having a comfortable life, I don't need to do any of this. I can just come on, do the show, but I'm thinking about real production development and going beyond this show and kind of insulating this show with side projects and things I always wanted to do. I want to direct stuff. I want to write short screenplays, vignettes. I would like to act again. Things like that. Radio dramas I've been talking about. I've got scripts. I've got actors too. I just need Foley men. I need nights to put it all together. I told my father. My father's directing it's almost like it's not a full-on produced play, but in December he's directing a read-through of It's a Wonderful Life, and it's based on a script, a 5-man script. I said, you got to help me put on a radio drama. I would love to go and perform this. Just black out the screens, maybe put some nice Christmas-related stuff on screen, and then bring in a Foley guy, like maybe Anthony, and a little bit of direction, scene by scene, and you have your sound effects board and all that stuff, and we actually do a live performance of It's a Wonderful Life, radio style. Like, these are the types of things that I'm interested in. I'm really, really interested in, and that is my sole focus. That's my sole focus, because if I cared only about living a life where I knew my bills are paid for and I can provide for my daughter, then I'm feeling pretty good about things, because I have a wonderful audience and I know they're always going to be around. And I definitely I'm not playing games with you guys. I'm just trying some things. And if it turns out to be a detriment, then we go back to the way it was. I'm not stubborn enough to see something becoming, negative when all I want to do is create positive. So there's that. And on the Albert thing, I want to read one. I told you I opened up I'll read this and then we'll go on our intermission and hop over to QuiteFrankly.tv and pilled.net. All the links are out there. But I opened up a thread, an Albert's Thoughts and Memory thread, like I told you last night. It's still up there, pasted to the top of QuiteFrankly.tv's forum. And in there is the link for the GoFundMe if anybody wants to contribute a little bit to the family and everything that they're dealing with right now. But one of the things that I put in was a screen capture from my cousin Sherry, who was talking a little bit about Albert in the Gilded the night that we all got the news. And I really like this, and this is what I'll just read on the air, and you guys and gals can go watch and read through all the rest and add your own and just talk to people there on the forum. She said the following. She said, Albert was such a sweetheart who had so much love for his wife and kids, a book who could not be judged by its cover. His life story was both fascinating and tragic. Like many of you, I spent quite a few long nights on voice chats with Albert, holding court on any number of subjects. Sometimes I dismissed him as a curmudgeon. Me too. Sometimes I dismissed him as a curmudgeon. And other times, I really think he had it all figured out. I'll miss him. I'm so sad for his family. I'll be praying for all of them. And I thought that was so well said, and it perfectly encapsulated so many of those late nights that, sometimes I wouldn't jump in on those voice chats because I don't want to distract people. I see 7, 8 people in at the time Discord, but even the Gilded voice chats, I see 7 or 8 people in there talking until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And, I don't want to jump in because I don't want to pull any attention away from what they're already talking about. But there would be Albert, there would be my cousin, Linda, Nikki, so many people in there. And it was really, it's all wonderful memories. And we still have to endeavor to create new wonderful memories, and we memorialize those who are not here with us and keep them around in some way. Just like we paid some attention to Gadget Doc, our wonderful buddy Brian, who died a couple of years ago in early November. We just paid a little bit of attention to him, keeping his memory alive as well. He's another good friend gone. But we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I invite you all to come with us over to quitefrankly.tv, over to pilled.net. The direct pilled/Foxhole link is in the description of this episode. You can also find it on Twitter and on Telegram, all those other places. And we have a little bit of a transition video that you're going to be able to watch right now. That'll make it all go by in a flash. That's right, and more than enough time to go and complete the transition. All right, we'll be right back, and next time you see me, I will be a woman.
Pilled.net is proud to host Quite Frankly TV, exclusively on the home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pilled.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to Quite Frankly's stream. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pilled.net. Enjoy the rest of Quite Frankly TV on Pilled.net. Free speech lives here.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Intermission.
We'll be right back.